What's going on, guys? How are you all doing? Today's video, I want to go over some more 3v3 counters to Jedi Master Luke Skywalker and his friends. So you've probably seen a lot of the ones people using in JC right now with the Basta leadership with all that extra protection regain. So let's just go show you the leadership here. So Basta's all the way down here, and there she is. So you go into JCs, and you might have to worry about this team here with Bastila, JML rather, and Wat Tambor. So this is a very, very annoying team. People have shown you some counters to handle them, but I want to show you probably my favorite counter to them right now, and the most cost-effective one as well. So you do have to worry about a lot more protection, a lot more things to go through, but it is actually pretty manageable for the most part. So I have a video I want to show you today countering this team, and the team we're going to be using here is this little Thrawn lead with Commander Luke and 3PO. So real quick, before we go into this counter for today, this is actually one created from a buddy of mine named Blade Bach. You guys all know Blade. He is the mastermind of the Rebels, he likes to say. He is the CLS and Rebels god, the master. But this is one that he kind of found out. He tested in 3s before it really was going, before the whole join phase and all that sort of stuff. In 3v3, he did the testing here with the Thrawn, CLS, and 3PO. It works very, very well. So just big shout out to Blade Baca, and let's go into the rest of the video. So if you want to go into like the bare minimums for this counter to work, I'd say it's a bit more mod dependent, but when it comes to the relic level, I would say you definitely want to have a high relic CLS, as well as maybe a bit of a high relic Thrawn as well. You want to make sure you can tank some of the hits, but also with CLS dealing a lot more damage. So I want to show you this one today because this one, you're not going to be using a GL. You're not going to be using your JKR, Gas, and Han because that splits up like 3 different teams. That's not good at all. In this one, you're only really splitting up your Han and Chewie. And in 3s, you don't really have any specific teams that 3PO and Thrawn go into. So you can kind of get away with using this without having to worry about spending all these other really, really important characters on this big counter. So I want to show you this one of the Basta lead also with one I just fought in my GAC today. That was a GK lead with Barriss and JML. So let's go into it and just see how it all works. So he always gives out the tank tech to the tank here, which is JML. You put the fracture onto him. And just pause it. Before we get into it any further, one big, huge key point that I kind of forgot to mention is that you should really be mod dependent here. And the mods you should be kind of worried about for your characters here is a high offense CLS. And then the biggest ones I'd say is high tenacity Thrawn. You could go for another high tenacity 3PO if you wanted to, just to play it safe. But the ones you definitely need to have high tenacity on is Thrawn. So you can definitely get off either a TM swap off the bat or a fracture to fracture the JML. You have to have high tenacity Thrawn here or it would not work. And he does not have to be high speed at all. He can be definitely a very, very low speed, just high tenacity because he does get that TM from his leadership if he does get resisted debuff or he gets a debuff onto himself. So definitely things to worry about there. So after you fracture him, after you get the other assist going on here, you're going to be just fine. You want to make sure that you keep that call to action buff on him at all times so he gets out more damage throughout the entire battle. So now we want to go kill Wat Tambor here, get probably some TM swaps, getting closer to his next fracture if you possibly can. But keep in mind, this can time out if you do not have high enough offense on your CLS or if you misplay because this is definitely a time constraint battle. And it can go south very quickly if you do not use the right abilities. So like right here, I'm not sure if it was the best play to use that and swapping off the call to action or not. But in my opinion, you always want to have that extra damage. And I think it's the crit damage. Extra stat increases from the call to action with CLS's ability there. So a lot of things to consider here, but if you can play this correctly, this is going to be an easy 54 banner win, full banners, maxing banners out versus not a Commander Luke, Jedi Master Luke team in 3s, a Galactic Legend JML. So this is all relic team here that we're fighting. You could go about on defense side of things like how to kind of stop the CLS counter. I mean, there's not much you can do besides maybe, modding him for a lot more defense, health, and protection. But still, if you have a properly modded CLS here, there is no way the JML can hold versus this. So this is definitely a good counter. I might speed this up a little bit because this can go to a very, very long time of a timeout possibly. So I'm going to kind of speed it up right here. So at this point in the battle, it's just JML left. what do you do? Well, you want to make sure your first priority is to do all the big damage hits onto him with your CLS. So using your first special, that is a bit more damage. And then secondly, always making sure that you have max translation stack so you can get even more assists with your 3PO. And then one of the bigger things you got to worry about here at this part of the battle is to always keep the fracture up onto the Luke, because you don't want him to take a turn so he gets that protection from the Watt tech. So we're trying to do that at the moment. We're going to be kind of TM swapping back and forth, making sure you get the fracture off at all times. And, from here on out, it's like a 3-minute battle just killing the Master Luke. But it can be doable. It is possible to kill this guy. So we're going to speed up a little bit because it's going to take a long, long time. He still has that protection up, locked buff from the leadership of Bastila, which is kind of funny still. But you're going to keep on doing your basics when you have them. Use your big special when you do have that as well. And just kind of go back and forth. I mean, you have so much TMR here between the CLS's basic and his other special, as well as 3PO's basic and his all of his debuffs he can apply here. It's very, very key to have all these guys on this team so you have as much TMR as possible and some more damage here as well. So 1 more minute left. He has nearly full HP, and we're going to see how long it takes us to kill him. It's going to be close to a timeout, I know, but if you have a CLS that is modded properly with some good offense, definitely use this, guys. I'm not sure why I would ever want to use a JKR Gas Han team when I can just use this if I have it all modded correctly, There is nothing I would rather do than not use this team and waste, all those important characters. So there we go. 20 seconds left in the battle, and we just finish him off right there with CLS's nice little finishing blow. So there is the first one. The next one here I want to show you guys is not a Bastila leadership. It's rather a GK lead with all that extra health and the defense percent onto the Jedi. So it is a very, very annoying one. This is one I just barely fought in my GAC today. I had my guys modded somewhat for this. That last one we showed you guys was with a Relic 7 CLS with crazy, crazy offense. Mine is only Relic 5. And doesn't not really have the highest offense you can get on him. So it is pretty doable if you don't have the best mods, but it's kind of the same, same scenarios here of what you want to play. I kind of made some misplays here in my battle here when I was fighting this for the first time. I did not keep the call to action buff on him very, very long. I kind of always swapped out of it, was not the best plays. So this is with a Barris. This is only gear 12 Barris, so it's probably not going to be the hardest team to counter. But if this was a gear 13 Barris, I don't think my CLS can chop through the Barris's health pool because of all that extra healing with the extra relic levels and all that mods. So this is probably doable with a gear 12 Barris, but if it's a gear 13 Barris, probably not because of extra defense and health from the GK lead. So we're going to still kind of chop through the Barris. We can kill her eventually because of how low health she is at this gear 12 level. But same kind of thing here. We just barely killed the Barris. Now over to GK. We don't have to worry about the extra healing from the unique Zeta onto Barris. And I think it takes us like around another minute here to kill GK. It's like the exact same things here in just the previous one we just showed with a Bastila lead. You got to just make sure you always have Fracture available for the JML. Do your big hits onto the GK or whoever else is still alive. And then saving the JML for last because he is definitely the hardest one to kill here. So close to killing the GK. He's about done here with all these expos that we're going to be getting here on the field. About done. Some more of the Thrawn lead maneuver, whatever that's called, for TM, more TM gain on his one special. Down goes GK, and it's at this point, it is now 3 minutes left until we actually get to kill this GL Luke. It is crazy how long it will take you. So I think I had like a Relic 5-1 here, a Relic 5 CLS, a Relic 3 Thrawn, a Relic 5 3PO for my requirements. And yeah, we're just kind of... It is very, very hard to beat through this one, I feel like, because of extra defense and health added on from the GK lead. It is very, very close. But like I said, a big misplay I did make here was to not keep the call to action on him at all times. I'm losing a lot more damage output. So that's one mistake I made here, which is something I kind of regretted here because I almost timed out. But same thing here, guys. Always want to TM swap back and forth with the highest TM person, getting the fracture back online, fracturing the guy, and then doing your big hits here. Same scenarios here, nothing crazy. So we're going to speed this one up a little bit too. A minute in, a minute 50 in. He's barely through his protection pool, and now he's just lost protection pool. Now it's just his health, but the health from the lead is crazy here still. And that defense, it's just all so much damage we're going to be dealing here. I mean, look at the damage we're actually giving out to him. It's like 6k, 3k, 11k on his big hits. I mean, this is crazy how tanky this guy is with relics and with a GK lead here too. So at this point in the battle, we're kind of playing it a bit more correctly with not wasting our call to action, keeping on him at all times, and we're fracturing him whenever we have it available. So that's what we're doing here at the moment. And it takes us now another minute here to kill him. He is now at half health with 50 seconds left to go. When I was streaming this, guys, I was literally I was in panic mode big time because I was not sure if I was going to be able to win this or timeout. But if it was a timeout, he would be in like the red or the yellow, and I think I'd be just fine still. But it would have been nice to just one-shot him, which I did one-shot him in this battle. So he's about dead. 20 seconds left on the board. Another mass assist. About close to another fracture. He has like no TM at all. Fracture. Boom, boom, boom. Down he goes. So 54 banners there, guys. Nice and easy win with the CLS lead. So that is the one I want to show you today. That is my favorite counter to the JML in 3v3. There could be some different leads you can kind of fight in threes. You know, just looking at the Jedi faction as a whole, there's a lot of different leads you can kind of toss in there. But while that guy used GK lead there, he did not have GK for the Padme, so we kind of lost some characters there. So if I were to still, you know, think about what is the most common one you'll see, is probably still going to be the Bastila lead with Wat in JML, which is definitely still easily beatable. So now, with all that being said, I'm going to show you guys my mods here today onto my Thrawn, CLS, and 3PO. So 3PO is right here. He is modded for... Actually, this is the wrong set, but he was modded for some speed, some CA, and he was around 260, 270 speed with a CA arrow. Pretty much what I just did was throw the... and rather swap the Thrawn and the 3PO sets. That's all I did. So really, 3PO had this set, and Thrawn had this set with the tenacity. So he really had 166% tenacity. He did not have any debuff stick besides the breach, of course. And then we had CLS here with some more offense and some more protection. So it is okay offense here. It's not the best in my opinion, but it was enough to deal the damage to kill the JML while he was the last one alive. So that is pretty much it for the counter today, guys. I think this is a great one. You're not me wasting your JKR gas and Han or a GL even. I mean, it was very, very nice because in this one, nice little level up there. In this one, in my last round, I was able to use that. I saved my GL Rey and Kylo. I was able to use Rey versus the other Kylo and then use this counter versus the JML. I had a whole freaking Kylo to use, and I was able to full clear with some good banners. So thank you guys for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a like, share it around, and sub to the channel if you guys are new here. We got some more videos coming on the pipeline with some more solos of some GLs, and just kind of you know, having a good time, some GAC streams as well. If you guys want to check out my links all down below in the description, feel free to. Discord, Patreon, and channel memberships, feel free to check them out, guys. That is it for today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out and have a good one.